Hello motherhood lovers, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another sit down video. So in today's video I will just be sharing with you my experience throughout my breastfeeding. You know, I have two kids and two boys for that matter. Like they always say that boys children suck too much, and I can testify, and I will be telling you why I agree with that terms. Okay, so in today I'll just be sharing with you the pressure, the challenges, and everything, and what I do and how. I don't know if this video I'm going to talk about how I stopped finally. So each of my child, I breastfeed them for 2 years long, and then I stopped breastfeeding. So two of my children I breastfeed for 4 years. So I'm just going to be talking about everything about breastfeeding, my experience, everything, and also doing a reaction video with AKAH and Claire. Yeah, so AKAH and Claire, they are content creator on YouTube and also on Instagram. I find out this video when Ada and Nelo&Adauncut did their reaction video. Although I watched it on Instagram through a friend of mine, a content creator here on YouTube. Her name is Ada's Corner. Ada's Corner sent me a DM and said, "Story of motherhood, you have so much experience in breastfeeding. You talk about it so much. I think this is a nice topic for you to just share your own experience." And I want to say a very big thank you to Ada's Corner. Thank you so much. And then I watched the video from the beginning to the end, and I start to follow AKAH and Claire. Yeah, I pronounced the name very well. Immediately Ada's Corner sent me that video. I am not a fan of them, but right now I fall in love with those personality, those couple, and I'm loving the ladies so much. So I'm going to be talking about them today, and talking about breastfeeding and also reacting on the topic. Okay, so in my 2 years age breastfeeding my children, I breastfeed Brian. Brian is my first son and he's 4 years old. I breastfeed Brian for 2 years long. I breastfeed Melvin for 2 years long. I am this lucky woman that have a lot of breast. They all breast milk. They always say that people with big breasts don't always get breast milk, but I am so lucky that I am not in that shoe. Okay, when I had my when I got pregnant for Brian, I was so ready. The one thing you should know is that when you are prepared, when your mind, your head, your soul, your spirit is prepared to breastfeed, it also help the hormones, it also help your body, it also produce more. You understand? So during the pregnancy of Brian, I was already ready to breastfeed. I was not having a doubt that I'm not going to breastfeed my children. I was ready to breastfeed. Okay, so and I don't know if it's because I drink a lot of fresh milk during the pregnancy, like 1.5 milk. I take a lot of powder milk. I also take something they called Echo. I don't know it in English, but it's Echo. I eat a lot of Echo during when I'm pregnant. Really, I eat a lot of Echo powder milk, drink a lot of milk. So I don't know if that also contributes to my produce of milk, but I cannot tell. Okay, and when I had Brian, the birth was so hard, and then I immediately, even with the pain, I told the doctors around me, the nurses around me, that I am willing to breastfeed, and they said, okay, I should start by pumping. So the first day there was no milk, and the second day I start to feel heavy in my chest that I want to produce milk, and then I pump out milk, and immediately I pump out milk. The milk was so excess, you know. They asked me to pump just a bottle. I pumped 2 bottles, you know. And then I was so excited. I feel so good. I feel so relaxed when I saw that milk was coming out my breast, you know, and my baby Brian was at then in the intensive care. So I would just go there and give them my milk, and they would so just be happy. And I was just looking for that day that I would carry my baby, because my baby stayed in the intensive care for 7 days, and because the birth was hard, you know, but I thank God for his health and my life. Okay, so I was in also the ward, okay, and I'll produce milk and then go to the intensive care to give it to my baby, and the nurses and the doctors were so happy. Oh, for Inky man, Du bist eine schöne Frau. You have a lot. Du bist eine schöne Frau. So viele Milch, you know. You have a lot of milk, and I was so happy. And I was just waiting for the day I'm going to carry my child and breastfeed from nipple to the mouth. I was just waiting for that day. So on the fourth day, I went to the intensive camp, and then because I go there to spend time with my child, Brian, and then they told me that I can now carry my child on the arm and sit down and feel, you know. I was so excited. And when I carried my child, I just relaxed on the massage chair, relaxed with my baby. And then I start, you know, it's my first fruit, it's my first child, you know. I start crying. I was so happy, full of joy that, oh, finally I have held my baby. And then one urge just came, bring out your breast, you know. And then I brought out my breast, and nobody teach me at first. And I just try it out to bring out my breast, and I just put it straight to my son's mouth. And then the midwife, the nurses came to me. One of the nurses came to me. Oh, Frau Inkema, that is so nice, aber you must do so. Then just to protect the nurse, then he taught me how to sit down, and then I noticed immediately Brian plug the nipple in his mouth and start to suck. So I felt good. So at that time, I stopped pumping out milk. I always breastfeed him all the time. They bring him to me and everything. So yeah, and it continues like that. And when we got home, after the 7th day, we were discharged, we got home, I was producing milk. And noted that during my pregnancy, I took a lot of fresh milk, a lot of powder milk, a lot of echo. So when I had my baby Brian, I feel the smell of milk. I don't take it anymore, but I drink a lot of water. So if you want to produce a lot of milk, you have to hydrate yourself. You have to drink a lot of liquid, a lot of water. I am telling you the truth. But your mind needs to be there. Your mind needs to be there. Imagine the 2 years of breastfeeding Brian, and come, let me tell you, with my first son, I had no complaint from my husband. I had no pressure that I should stop from family and friends, because they know that, yeah, this is my first child. I am so, like, you know, into him. I just, you know, so my husband did not complain during the 2 years, even if he was like missing my nipple, missing how to touch my breast. Even the time of breastfeeding, if my husband touched my breast, milk will come out. So throughout my breastfeeding, I think it was at the end of 2 years, getting close to 2 years, I stopped to put pad on my breast before the bra, you know, because throughout my breastfeeding, even me, if I hold my breast like this, milk will come out. I produce a lot of milk, and I just feel that it was because my mind was ready to breastfeed. My mind was ready to breastfeed. You know, it takes the mind to produce milk. I know that drinking, taking a lot of supplements and also taking a lot of liquid can help, but it takes the mind. You as a breastfeeding mom, don't go into stress. Stress can reduce milk supply, and pressure can reduce milk supply. Okay, so when I watched that video of AKAH and Claire, I was just looking at them, at him, the man, and I was looking at the man. I was listening to his wife, and I said, "Oh my goodness, some men are just like that." He is thinking that the Claire, she does not want to breastfeed her daughter, but that is not true. She's not producing enough milk, and she does not like to pump out milk. She wants to give directly, and that is the joy of every mother. I felt it the day I breastfeed my child for the first time through nipple to mouth. It feels so good. This is one of the motherhood. This is the feeling, you know. This is the connection. This is how you connect with your child. You understand? So I was just listening to Claire, and I said, I understand that so much. She feels pressure by the husband car, and she feels stressed. So as a breastfeeding mom, when you get stressed, when you're under pressure, you don't produce a lot of milk. And okay, she can back it up with supplements. She can eat a lot of fruit. She can drink a lot of liquid. But some mothers don't actually produce milk. I have seen a lot of mothers that said, oh, I don't know, breast milk stopped coming at the months of 2. Breast milk stopped coming at the months of 6 months. As you know, I see a lot, you understand? So it depends on the body. It depends on how the body is prepared. And it depends on how the child is ready to suck. Like my children, they suck so well. So the milk was producing excess, because anytime I give them the milk direct from my nipple, they suck it so hard. You see Brian and Melvin, you understand? They suck it. So the body and my body system, the almost wherever the milk is coming from, produce more, because they feel it that the child is ready to take more milk. So it produces more. And at that time when I was breastfeeding my children, I noticed that if I don't give them, maybe I go out or I go to school and everything, because during Brian said I was going to school, I was breastfeeding. It was also in the kindergarten, the same with Melvin, kindergarten, sorry. And let me say 2 to 3 hours, if I don't breastfeed my children, my breast will be so heavy. I will start having headache. I will start having pain until I breastfeed my children. So most of the time I produce excess to the extent that I pump out milk even in the house. There was a day for my second son. I went to the hospital to visit a friend, and our milk was not producing. Our breast was not producing a lot of milk. Sorry about that. And because she's a friend, she's a sister, I was told, because of the condition and everything, I was told if I can produce milk for her, I pump out a bottle of milk. She trusts me. And when I find out that I can do that, sometimes during my breastfeeding period, I go to the hospital and I go and produce milk for mothers that they cannot breastfeed, that they don't have breast milk. I give them like 4 bottles, 5 bottles of milk, and I still have a lot to give to my children. So I have excess milk. My body produces milk. So it is not all mother that can produce a lot of milk. And if you're talking about my hair, where I got my hair, I know it's not, I'm not supposed, but this hair is from Ebony, okay? If you want to get hair, she sold it very, very affordable for me. And if you want to get this hair, please, you can go and check out Ebony Varamenta on Instagram. She sells good hair, and she's going to give you affordable price. If you're coming from me, she'll give you discount. So this hair is from Ebony Varamenta. So some mothers cannot produce, and when it also comes with pressure, like the way Carl was putting pressure on Claire, the milk would stop. And also, I noticed when I was watching that video, Claire was saying, I think the daughter was not cooperating with her when it comes to breastfeeding. I think the body respond, the breast respond when the child suck a lot, suck excess, then the breast and the body respond to produce more milk. So I don't know if you want to know how I stop breastfeeding. It's a lot of work, but with 2 children and 2 years each breastfeeding, I have experience, I must tell you. With what you're seeing front here is just the help of my bra. And I'm so happy that I could breastfeed my children for 2 years each, okay? And I'm so happy seeing my breast, like, falling down. It's okay. It is due to motherhood. It is due to breastfeeding. So I am not ashamed to say, oh, my breast is flat right now. It is breastfeeding. Imagine I breastfeed 2 years age. So that's just it. And if you want to know how I stopped, what I did and everything, you can drop it in the comment section. And also, during the period of breastfeeding 2 years, imagine how my man was feeling. Like, for the first 1 year, it was okay, all right. And the second year, which day will I go stop this breastfeeding? Especially with my second son, which day now? My father called, you don't stop. My stepmom called, you don't stop. My sister, I said no. Until my body, my mind says stop, and that is 2 years, because I just want to balance it. And I'm so happy that the 2 children cooperate so well. So the first one stopped 2 years on the dot, and I want to balance it with my second child. I don't want to be stingy. I don't want to cheat any one of them. So when it was 2 years, and then I was already a content creator, you know that I stopped Melvin. at the age of 2 years. I stopped. I work it out. And it was hard for both to stop because they really love breast milk. So yeah, so this is going to be the end of this video, but I want to encourage AKAH and Claire. AKAH, please don't pressurize your wife. Don't put her into stress, because when you do that, she cannot produce milk. And Claire, it is okay to pump milk. It is really, really okay. It also helps to produce more and more milk. And also drink a lot of liquid and eat a lot of healthy food, eat a lot of fruit, and so drink a lot of smoothie and oats. Also, it helps. It is okay if you're not in the, if you're not willing, like I see it when you were sharing on that video, that you're willing to breastfeed. But it is okay if you decide not to breastfeed. But please, breast milk is the best. I am telling you, it's the best of all. It helps so much with children development. It helps in growth. It helps of nourishment. It is the best of all. And I will encourage all mothers, pregnant mother, nursing mother, to keep breastfeeding your children up to 2 years, even 2 years and more if you can. But at least just try your best, especially when the child needs it. Don't stop it.